Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the Houston Texans have done something the Cowboys haven't done this offseason, and that is signing some of their own. Nico Collins, wide receiver, 3 years, $72.75 million, 52 guaranteed. In the Western Conference Finals, well, the East, it says, we know the Celtics will be in the NBA Finals. Can the Mavericks finish off that matchup? They lead the Timberwolves 3-0.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That ball is history. A walk-off home run.
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. Appreciate all of y'all listening, however y'all may be doing that, whether you are listening on 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com via our AA Best Bail Bonds audio player, or if you are in our YouTube channel at SA Sports Star on YouTube, you can like, subscribe, follow along, comment along with the show. No phones today, but I do have a giveaway for y'all, as we have some tickets to Tesla that I'll be giving away later in the show. Same way they did during. Stay tuned for signed up throughout the show. The bullpen already on our YouTube chat in full force, talking about different questions that they want answered. And of course, Frank Valdez with the appreciative post of my shirt. I appreciate that. Present from a friend of mine with Deadpool and Wolverine about to come out. Best bubs. Well, kind of first time wearing this shirt, actually, so very excited about that. But a lot to talk about today. Nico Collins gets his deal, as the 3-year extension will keep him in Houston for the foreseeable future at about $24 million a year. And a lot to get into with that. We'll do that at the bottom of the hour. Joe Reinigle of the Blitz will finish his marathon day joining me here in about 10 minutes to talk about the NBA playoffs, the Cowboys, what they're going to do, the possible changing of OTAs, et cetera, et cetera. But I want to start with the NBA playoffs as the Celtics punch their ticket into the next round of the playoffs, that being the NBA Finals, with a 105-102 win last night. As you know, as Joe Reinigle says, they are overrated. But as Jason Minnick said on the Blitz, it's hard to call a team overrated that has made it to the final step. And yes, they've had some good fortune along the way. That's part of all sports. You survive injuries, you take advantage of good fortune, and hopefully you see yourself standing at the end of the year. The Cowboys had that opportunity. They managed to seize home field and avoid the 49ers, but they couldn't finish it off when they got into the playoffs. The Celtics are taking advantage of the opportunities that were bestowed upon them. They got no Jimmy Butler with the Heat as he got injured and missed part of that series. Tyrese Halliburton missed a bunch of this last series. Donovan Mitchell missed the last 2 games of the Cavs series the week before, but they also are missing Kristaps Porzingis. But this finishing this series off early in the manner that they did allows them to be at full health going into the NBA Finals. And that's all part of it, is what you do with the opportunities afforded to you. And they have a good shot at winning an NBA Final because it is a really, really good team. Jaylen Brown, Supermax guy. Jason Tatum, another Supermax guy. There are a lot of players, and their role players are playing at an extremely high level, whether it's been Kristaps Porzingis, Al Horford has stepped up, Derek White, Drew Holiday. Those are guys that are filling in the gaps where in the last series with the Timberwolves, we saw some of those guys fill in the gaps, whether it's Jaden McDaniels, Nazir, all of those guys kind of doing different things. Mike Conley had a big game. This series, it's the superstars that aren't performing. At least not like superstars. Your defensive player in the year for the second straight year in for the second straight series in Rudy Gobert, just not getting it done on the court for the Minnesota Timberwolves as they face elimination. And that's going to be very interesting to watch tonight because the Mavs are on the cusp. They're right there. And they can steal 9 days of rest to get Luka Doncic as healthy as he can possibly be going into this series. And that's going to be very, very important for this team. The good news for the Dallas Mavericks, Kyrie Irving, when he has a chance to close out an opponent in the playoffs, is a perfect 14-0 in those situations, including last series. Can he do it again? Can he finish this off? Now, the flip side to that is we're going to be without basketball for a while as the NBA Finals don't start till next Thursday. But it will allow the best possible product on the floor in terms of people being healthy, both teams being at full strength. You got no Derek Lively tonight, possibly, as he after that wicked knee to the back of the head in the last game that forced him from the game. And can we just say, what a run for Dallas teams. And Hunter Hitch has pointed out, last year the Rangers win the title. This year the Stars and Mavs are potentially in the finals. You got the Mavericks 1 game away. You got the Stars with a 2-1 lead in their conference finals series. It's a heck of a year for Dallas. The sporting calendar. Are we sleeping on the Cowboys because of that? Could this be their year and we just don't know it? That remains to be seen. We'll get more into the Cowboys a little bit later in the show, but it's going to be crucial, I think, for the Dallas Mavericks to steal some more rest. The rest that the Celtics are going to get a Kristaps Porzingis healthy, to get the guys that have played a ton of minutes, the Jason Tatums, the Jaylen Browns, the Derek Whites, the guys that have really exerted themselves, Drew Holiday on defense. And overrated is a term we like to throw around, whether it's the Boston Celtics, whether it is LeBron James. I saw it in the comments during the Blitz when they were talking about Bronny and trying to finagle in the best possible way where he wants to end up. If you're trying to get the best possible situations for yourself, the Celtics have afforded themselves that. The Mavericks now have the chance to see the Celtics and buy their team some rest, because Luka Doncic has been phenomenal through this series. We also know he's been a little bit banged up throughout this entire postseason run, and getting him some rest to get him in the perfect situation going into the playoffs, going into the finals, might give us our best possible matchup in the finals. Because if they let this one slip away and maybe the Timberwolves get it back, and then all of a sudden this series ends up going 6 or worst case 7, that is just another great thing for the Boston Celtics in terms of things working out in their favor. And we always say it about a lot of title teams: avoiding injuries, taking advantage of circumstances, capitalizing on instances within games. The Pacers had never been in that situation. They were a young team and they faltered in late game situations where the experience of the Celtics being there, having been there a couple of times, both winning and losing in those situations, paid off for them to close out those games down the stretch. And Joe Mazzulla has done a really good job in these playoffs. He gets a lot of flack because he wasn't supposed to be the guy. This is Ime Udoka's team. This was the team that he built, and then the scandal forced him out, and Mazzulla was basically the interim solution that turned into the long-term solution, and he deserves every bit of credit for as far as Boston has gone this year. The same way that Jason Kidd deserves the credit for what the Mavericks have done this year. And for that fact, what Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving have done together in terms of allowing themselves to play off of one another and knowing when it's time for one or the other to actually grab the reins to the game and take those shots in the clutch moments in the fourth quarter. Whose turn it is to take over, when, and why. And that's what's been really, really surprising to watch when it comes to the Dallas Mavericks. I think they close it out because I think they have a sense of urgency knowing that Boston, so they want to get the same amount of rest that the Celtics do. Goldfinger123 in our YouTube chat says, Pledge, you wearing your Celtics shorts? I'm not today, but I probably will be as we get closer to the NBA Finals, probably for game one. But I was wearing them yesterday during the game, which is why I'm not wearing them today. Miguel Martinez, with my overrated talk, talks about Rudy Gobert being Defensive Player of the Year is overrated. With what he's put forth on the court, it's hard to argue that because in 2 straight series now, people are actively trying to get him on them to abuse them. In the previous series, it was Nikola Jokic, who is the MVP, taking advantage of Gobert. And in this series, it has been getting the switch onto Luka Doncic to, or even Kyrie Irving in cases, to really expose Gobert out on the perimeter. And that's been an issue as Gobert, great within the paint, great when everything funnels to him. You bring him out away from the basket, he becomes a liability on the floor. But he did earn it during the regular season. I would have voted him second. I would have put Wemby first if I had a vote, if I had a ballot. But it is hard to argue the fact that he didn't deserve Defensive Player of the Year. The voters gave it to him fair and square. And it's not like you couldn't make a case that Gobert was not the Defensive Player of the Year when you look at advanced metrics, defensive rating, etc. It's just I have more metrics to prove my point for Wemby than I do for Gobert. He just happened to play on a better defensive team. And much like the MVP, the better team, the better player on the better team is usually going to end up winning awards, which is why Wemby says he wants to start winning sooner rather than later, because if he's winning awards, that means the team is doing well in its stead. This is Extra Innings with Pleasure. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star 941 FM, sasportstar.com. When we come back, I'm going to talk with Joe Reingold of the Blitz about this overrated Celtics team, the potential matchup in the NBA Finals, what he thinks is going to happen tonight, and of course, the Dallas Cowboys news that never seems to stop, but also doesn't seem to change. That's all coming up here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 FM.
Give me the VIN.com salutes Farfig Nugan. On this day in 1937, German automakers began mass production of what they called a low-priced people's car, and the Volkswagen was born. And also on this day, Give Me the VIN beat a CarMax offer by $1,000 on a 2014 Volkswagen Passat, because no one knows the wholesale import market better than America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. Give me the VIN.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Get a free pneumatic nailer when you buy a pallet of select Metabo HPT nails. And there's more. Save 10% on select shingles when you buy in bulk. Visit us in-store or online for low prices on the materials you need. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location while supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
When it's time for a brake job, go with a solution that delivers one of the smoothest and most quiet rides on the road. Napa Silent Guard brakes. Made with fiber-reinforced shims that eliminate noise for the life of the pad. Rubber-coated hardware for a better fit on 99.5% of vehicles. And quality and exceeds OE performance. Napa Silent Guard brakes deliver the stopping power and performance drivers demand in their vehicles. Available now at Napa locations nationwide.
Former CIA officer Jason Hansen here. In my line of work, I've seen firsthand how fast the world can change. And with geopolitical risks and rising inflation, it's time to take action now. For me, that means gold. And for gold, I exclusively trust Advantage Gold. I urge you to do the same. Call them now at 800-900-GOLD for a free gold guide. Mention my name and receive a bonus $1,300 gift. So don't hesitate. Call 800-900-GOLD today.
Paid for by Advantage Gold. Performance may vary. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Always consult your financial and tax professional.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Ooh, I'm so ready for this weekend away with my girl.
Hey, hit the road. How about some free gas?
Free gas? How?
Try new Febreze car for some serious freshness, and you can win gas for a full year. Visit Febreze.com to learn more.
Say less.
You may not win, but you're gonna have a fresh smelling whip.
Thanks, DJ Fresh. Now how about some music?
Hey, yo, this next one goes out to new Febreze car for giving you a chance to win free gas.
La 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 la.
No purchase necessary. Must be 18 to enter in 73124 for rules and how to enter. Visit Febreze.com.
Introducing Lumi for Men, and we named him Mando. I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman's brother, the inventor of Mando Whole Body Deodorant for pits, packages, and feet. Because we all know our pits aren't the only places we get odor. Mando Whole Body Deodorant is different from anything you've tried before. It stops odor before it starts, powered by our acidified technology. Mando controls odor anywhere you have it. Her patented whole body deodorant formula has over 200,000 five-star reviews. And because Mando has a 60-day stink-free guarantee, you can try Mando risk-free. Give Mando whole body deodorant a try today and smell like the stink-free man you were intended to be.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code 555 and get an extra $5 off a Mando starter pack that comes with a solid stick, cream tube, 2 free products of your choice, and ships free with code 555. Go to shopmando.com, code 555, for an extra $5 off a Mando starter pack. That's shopmando.com, code 555.
This is Jim Rome, and you're listening to
94.1 San Antonio Sports Zone.
It's one of those days. I'm an idiot. There's no gyro because phone doesn't work. Phone's been down. So, yeah, no Joe. But there's plenty to talk about, including the NFL Players Association reportedly attempting to end OTAs, if you will. After rookies come in, the mini camps, stuff like that, you've got your OTAs where the teams get together for the first time in full. And the NFL Players Association is working to finalize a proposal to overhaul the offseason starting as soon as next year, which would eliminate the voluntary on-field work in the spring, which would be in favor of long-term training camp ramp-up, with players reporting in mid-June to early July. This, according to the NFL Network's Tom Pelissero and multiple others reporting. How does that affect things? Well, first and foremost, these little stories, the interviews we get in May as these teams are checking in, and we hear from the coaches and the players and the new rookies, that all goes away from end of draft, end of schedule release. This little waft of things that we get in the NFL news goes away for a little bit. And we won't get it until mid-June, early July. And focus on that on our sports calendar. But it also takes the NFL kind of out of that window of a news cycle, in a sense. And by doing so, if the Players Association is working to finalize this proposal, the NFL isn't just going to be like, yeah, that's a great idea, let's do that. The NFL and the owners, if they do anything for the players, it always comes with a caveat. If we give you something, we need something in return. And that usually boils around the CBA, money, how much they get. Like these things that get worked out, there's usually a quid pro quo that happens in terms of, all right, players, we're giving you this, but we want an 18th game. Like those kind of things. That's the difference of the negotiations between the league and the Players Association. And there's no way that the league will concede to the players something without having something else in return. Is that the 18th game? Is that pushing the schedule one more week where that Super Bowl does fall on a holiday weekend? Is that why Roger Goodell felt very confident when talking to Pat McAfee earlier this year about getting it to 18? The fact that it could push the season a week, and then naturally you have that Monday off following a Super Bowl Sunday because it would all of a sudden fall on a President's Day weekend. And you wouldn't have to create a national holiday. A national holiday already exists to take advantage of. That could be one of the things they're looking for. They also could be looking for split of the pie when it comes to revenues. It's going to be very interesting to see because it feels like the Players Association is trying to fast track this. But in doing so, I find it hard to believe that they wouldn't be giving something up in the process, the Players Association, in order to get this accomplished. And remember, these are what they're trying to get eliminated, the voluntary ones. Voluntary. It's not even the mandatory ones. I imagine those are probably going to be a part of the process as well as basically getting rid of all OTAs. But OTAs do serve their right, installs, etc., etc. Maybe it's more Zoom work. And then with the elongated preseason, it would allow them to get the installs further along. And maybe because of the elongated time between the draft, getting in the building, getting your playbook, and then starting on field work later, it allows players the opportunity to get more into the playbook so they have a better head start when they get to camp. To me, it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out because, like I said, the NFL doesn't give anything up for free. So my interest is where will the league look as it pertains to what they want in return for the NFL Players Association. And that's the shoe that we're waiting to fall to see what the bargaining chip will be for them as they get into that. Another thing with the NFL, we heard earlier from Jeremy Fowler over the holiday weekend. And it's things we've speculated, but now sources are coming out saying, of course, Dak and CD are the most prominent contracts for the Dallas Cowboys, especially knowing that Micah Parsons still has time on his rookie deal for them to get these deals done with Dak and CD first. And one of the things that Jeremy stated over the weekend that was Dak was the priority. And he's the priority, A, because of the difficult situation that they face with him, with the possibility there's nothing in return for him when he hits the open market if he's allowed to get to true free agency. While they have franchise tags and other implications and methods to retain CD Lamb for at least another couple years before it becomes imperative to get him signed to his long-term deal. There's nothing that hurts them. As a matter of fact, a franchise tag technically helps them in a way because while it is paying the full sum of it up front, paying the average of the top 5 is not the same as paying top 5 money. And that would allow them to save some money by paying CD on the franchise tag if they had to. And the other thing is CD doesn't technically want a deal done. As Jeremy Fowler said, CD is waiting on Justin Jefferson. And it makes sense why he's waiting on Justin Jefferson. Because whether he's the highest paid or not, knowing where the highest paid lands is easier to slot. If you go to the table now and you just become the highest paid by $1 million, and then Justin Jefferson sets the market after that by $3 or $4 million, you've left $2 to $3 million on the table. But if Justin Jefferson comes in, sets the market, resets it at like 35, 36, whatever it may be, and you've got the argument of I am the second best receiver and I am your best option on offense, it is a lot easier to ask for 34 just behind him at 35 to where you don't beat that money, but you make more than you would if you got that deal done earlier. So the waiting on CD Lamb's part is strategy by him and his camp and his agency on the best way to possibly maximize his value. Now, the flip side to that is he could get hurt. That's the gamble you take as a player when deciding, am I going for the bag now or am I going to maximize the bag when the bag's at its fullest, and what is the repercussions of that? CD Lamb has been incredibly durable throughout his pro career so far. and through his college career, as a matter of fact. So if you're always healthy and you believe that you have a good chance to stay healthy and you want to maximize your potential value, then you would wait, especially if it's your first deal, your first big money contract. And look, you have your Tyreek Hills, you have your Justin Jeffersons, you can argue Jamar Chase, but CeeDee Lamb is in that conversation. It is Justin Jefferson, and then you can start throwing other names and darts at the board. Tyreek Hill is one of those darts. He is one of the best in the game. From there on, you can argue which receiver you like best, whether it's Jamar Chase, whether it's CeeDee Lamb, whether it's Deebo Samuel, A.J. Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Your choice, but you can make an argument for all of them. So the more of them that sign and you're still in that group of players, you can command that kind of money. And I don't think the gap behind Justin Jefferson, who a lot of people think is the best receiver in the game, I don't think the gap between him and CD is that big. I truly don't. John Dyer's wondering if I just jinxed CD Lamb because I brought up his injury history. I don't think so. I didn't guarantee anything with CD. I just pointed out what his history is. So, calm down, Cowboy fan. He's fine. But for those of y'all that would like to get rid of Dak Prescott, if CD's hurt, the rest of the season could potentially fall apart at the seams, and all of a sudden you're in position to draft a franchise quarterback. Man. This quarterback draft coming up, I don't think as heavily slanted as this past season's was, but I also have my reservations beyond Caleb Williams when it came to this draft, with the Drake Mays, with the JJ McCarthy's. Jaden Daniels I like, but it's going to be very interesting to see how this CD contract plays out, because I do believe that he is truly waiting for the other leaves to fall. Jerry may have been waiting for leaves to fall, but I think CD is waiting for those leaves even more than Jerry, because if Jerry's waiting on him, he's just paying more. No matter how long this plays out, it means more money for CD Lamb. At least with the quarterback market. And this is a knock on wood thing. You kind of know where it's at right now. I don't see a quarterback on the market right now that can come in and sign a deal that is going to reset the market far and beyond what Joe Burrow is being paid currently as the highest paid quarterback at $55 million a year. I don't see a quarterback that is, whether it's Tua or Trevor Lawrence or Dak Prescott, they're all going to fall somewhere in that 52 to 55, maybe 56, maybe somebody breaks 55, but nobody is going far beyond above, in my opinion, or at least that high to where it resets the entire market for quarterbacks other than what it's already at. You need a Joe Burrow to be able to do things like that, and he did. The market has been reset. Now, it's where did the pieces behind him fall? Dak is one of those pieces. And for you Cowboy fans that don't want to see Dak get 60, what if he only got 52, 53? Would you be okay with that for 3 years as you actively tried to find his replacement? Would that help at least ease bringing him in, knowing it's a shorter term deal, knowing it is less than the top of the market? Not much, but less. Or are you just ready to punt and throw Trey Lance in there and hope for the best? Or perhaps maybe you just want to see what Trey Lance looks like in training camp before making that decision, because that's probably the best possible option. Make sure that he looks good before you go making sweeping decisions that could potentially set the franchise back for 2 to 3 years. Look, Spurs fans, y'all aren't ready to take 2 to 3 years post Wemby to build this thing around him. You want to jumpstart it and go now, and I understand that mentality. If you pull the plug on Dak, do you not think it's not going to set you back at least 2 to 3 years? What say you? Comment along on our YouTube channel at SA Sports Star on YouTube. You can like, subscribe, comment along with the show. Another comment for my Deadpool and Wolverine shirt that I got. Appreciate it, Gilberto. He also says that he thinks Jerry is keeping his options open as to whether keeping or letting Dak go. And that's very well could be go out there Joe Flacco-ish when he led that team to a Super Bowl and then got his bag, which I think his bag was 5 years, $100 million at the time. Just think of how far the quarterback contracts have come since Joe Flacco got paid. That ridiculous deal when a lot of people were questioning whether he deserved the money or not. But when they moved on from Joe Flacco, there was a Lamar in the wings. And it made it a lot easier to rip the Band-Aid off when you got somebody in the wings. Maybe Trey Lance is that guy. There is a possibility Joe Reinagle of the Blitz swears that this is what the Cowboys want. And to be fair, it would be crippled into a guy that was picked 3rd overall in the wrong system, thrives in this new system, and then you get him to take over the reins on what will likely be a cheaper deal initially. Because even if Trey Lance doesn't play this year at all, but he shows it in the preseason, and Jerry and the Cowboys kind of give him a lot of what Jordan Love got basically from the Packers when he took over. They bought out basically his 5th-year option and kind of gave him some money to where it's like 20 to 25 million for a couple of years to make sure that our investment is sound before giving him the bag, which he's about to get the bag. Trey Lance could potentially also be that. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star and sasportstar.com. Speaking of the Cowboys have been very, very set on a certain thing, and that is their own players stepping up. Well, if we can apply that concept to them, what about another team in the state of Texas? Is it time for some of those guys to step up, and when they've already kind of hedged their bets? We'll talk about it next here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9330. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9313. That's 800-575-9313. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hi, April Lancieri here from the Lancieri Auto Group. And Danielle Gunter, Executive Director of Texas Yes,
Here to tell you about the Drive Away for Education raffle sponsored by the Ansira Auto Group. Proceeds directly benefit Texas schools and students.
And now you can help by purchasing raffle tickets. The winner gets to choose a new Chevy, Nissan, Jeep, Volkswagen, or Kia.
Plus, there's a chance to win additional prizes through our weekly drawings, a shopping spree, or a gas card.
Get your raffle tickets today at TexasYesProject.org.
Winner responsible for tax title license and federal withholding.
Do you have unfiled tax returns or being threatened by the IRS that your wages are about to be garnished or bank accounts are going to be levied? You need an ally. Allies Tax Relief has professionals ready to fight for you. Their enrolled agents, tax attorneys, and CPAs have saved millions of dollars for taxpayers just like you. They won't just resolve your tax problems, they'll most importantly protect your wages, bank accounts, and all your assets from being taken by the IRS. Call for a free consultation. 800-230-5174. 800-230-5174 or go to alliestaxrelief.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Get a free pneumatic nailer when you buy a pallet of select Metabo HPT nails. And there's more. Save 10% on select shingles when you buy in bulk. Visit us in-store or online for low prices on the materials you need. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to fit. They'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. Appreciate all of y'all for joining me this evening, especially those on our YouTube channel. You got any questions, go ahead and throw those in there. I'll get to them as I can throughout the show. But as I tease, the Dallas Cowboys are set on a plan. What plan is that? Well, we draft and develop. They'll give their money to their own guys, and they will draft and develop. Well, the Houston Texans went about it a different way. They added a lot this offseason. They added linebacker Azeez Al-Shaair. They added Pro Bowl defensive end Danielle Hunter. They added a Danico Autry. They added a former Pro Bowl running back in Joe Mixon. They added a Stephon Diggs, a Pro Bowl wide receiver. They re-signed Dalton Schultz and Noah Brown, and they brought back Derek Barnett. They added a Mario Edwards, a Tommy Townsend, a Jeff Okudah, and Fatukasi on the defensive line. Tim Settle, bunch of different guys. They went out and spent some money in free agency because they had the money, because they have guys on rookie deals. But what if their real success isn't tied to just what they did in the offseason in that regard, but also with the methodology that the Cowboys employ of drafting and developing? Could the real success be tied to the first draft that Nick Caserio had post Deshaun Watson trade? Now, his first ever draft just extended Nico Collins, one of his first draft picks. His first was Davis Mills. I believe Nico Collins was his second ever draft pick as the Houston Texans general manager. And Nico Collins just got paid, as he got a contract that's worth up to $75 million, $24 million a year with $52 million in guaranteed money. And he broke out last year, set career highs in receptions with 80, yards with 1,297, and touchdowns with 8. That was his third season. Nico Collins broke out in his third season, right? Well, the post Deshaun trade, a lot of those guys are entering their third season. Derek Stingley Jr., he missed the first half of last year with a hamstring injury. He's had soft tissue injuries. He missed part of the first year due to injuries. But when he finally got on the field this past season, he played like one of the better cornerbacks in the league. Going into year 3 and assuming health, it's another guy that can step up, own drafted guy, and take this team to another level. Their other first-round pick that season that they got from the Deshaun trade was Kenyon Green out of Texas A&M. He was an offensive lineman. He never reportedly ever looked like he was in shape when he got to camp, has suffered a litany of injuries between his knees and his shoulders, spent this past year, missed the entire season due to an injury, although as he came into OTAs this year, apparently looks healthy, looks like he's in great shape for the first time in his career. Could he come in, solidify that other guard spot, take it, run with it, and solidify the protection in front of CJ Stroud that they missed for part of last year? Jalen Petrie had a great rookie season. His second year suffered a slump in D'Amico's system. Did not translate well, looked lost at times, looked like he was thinking too much. In a full year within D'Amico's system, does he have a better grasp of it? Does he look better? And is he better suited to perform on that back end than he was in year 1 with D'Amico Ryans? Same can be said for the two of the 1-2 punch in the running game. They went out and got a Joe Mixon, but there's no clear running back 2 behind him. Dameon Pierce is that guy. He had a great rookie season, was on pace for 1,000 yards before he has suffered an ankle injury late in the year and missed the last 4 games. But he admitted to struggling picking up Bobby here. And that's kind of a thing with running backs. You either know the system or you don't. If he picks up the system, does he give them the added benefit and depth in the running back room with Joe Mixon, becoming that hammer complement to what Joe Mixon provides? John Mechie, wide receiver out of Alabama, coming off an ACL injury, then gets diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma in training camp in his rookie year. Finally comes back, full year removed from that injury, but just recently removed from the lymphoma and getting back into football again after being cleared of his cancer diagnosis. He's a full year removed from being cleared from that cancer diagnosis. Does he take the next step this upcoming off season? Linebacker Christian Harris started to really pick it up and show in D'Amico's defense about the Tampa Bay game on. And if you remember, he had the huge pick 6 that sealed the playoff win against Joe Flacco and the Cleveland Browns. He looks like he's already adapted to the system and has started performing like the linebacker they thought they were drafting out of Alabama when they drafted him. This is the Cowboys' way. This is what they do. They draft to develop, and they hope for guys to take their step. We hear them talking about Jalen Tolbert and other guys and draft picks that they've had from previous draft classes they expect to step up and be contributors. And sometimes it takes a couple of years. We saw it with Nico Collins for the Texans. He finally busted out in year 3 this past season. Can some of these other guys return to form or break out finally, which would give the Texans not only the depth, but the ammunition to be the team that a lot of media is projecting them to be in terms of a legit contender in the AFC, despite how tough their schedule is moving forward. Just saying. Fred Villarreal on our YouTube live feed asking me, Dallas or Boston? Boston over Dallas every day. Look, I do not think Boston is overrated. I actually think they're underrated because people don't believe in them because of what has happened in the past. Losing to Miami the other year and falling flat. They're falling to the Warriors, but there's no shame in falling to the Warriors in the finals. The Warriors were a dynasty. It is a good team led by an MVP caliber player at the time. It's Steph Curry. There's no shame in losing an NBA Finals to the Golden State Warriors, but can they actually punch it through this year? I think they're well positioned to be able to punch it through this year. Coming up next here on Extra Innings with Pleasure, Manu Ginobili gives us a timeline for the San Antonio Spurs. Do you agree with it? We'll discuss next right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
San Antonio Sports Star.
They say health is wealth, and I could not agree more. That's why if you or somebody in your life is living with everyday aches and pains, I want to tell you about Relief Factor. And I'm telling you, I can feel the difference. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that helps fight pain naturally. Naturally. Now that's a big deal. Developed by doctors. Relief Factor's unique formula of ingredients all work together to help support your body's response to inflammation. Instead of masking pain for a couple of hours, Relief Factor actually helps reduce or even eliminate your pain for good. Whether it's neck, back, joint, or muscle pain, if you're looking to feel better, live better, give Relief Factor a try. In 3 weeks, you will know if it's working because you'll feel it. For instance, I was sent Relief Factor to try, and I've been taking it every single day. I'll tell you what, I feel the difference every day. Go to relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Save on your first order. Don't let pain tell you how to live. Fight back naturally with Relief Factor. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
With T-Mobile, you can get tons of benefits and still save because nobody likes having to choose. It's like getting romance and sci-fi.
I love you. Also, I'm a robot.
At T-Mobile, you can get the benefits you want and still save on every plan versus AT&T and Verizon. See how with our savings calculator at T-Mobile.com/switch. Plus, switch and keep your phone. We'll pay it off up to $800.
Via virtual prepaid card in 15 days. Qualifying unlocked device credit service access and expires in 6 months. See T-Mobile.com.
Hi, this is Quentin. A little thing I love about Chick-fil-A chicken strips are how satisfying they are. The chicken strips are amazing. They're always filling, crispy, tender, and juicy. Definitely one of my favorite things on the menu, especially when you add in that Chick-fil-A sauce. Always the perfect combination. And then personally, you know me, I'm getting a 4 count. I want as much chicken as possible. I'm that guy. Whenever I get them, whether it be lunch or for dinner, in my household, it's always a winner.
Order the chicken strips on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real customer paid for their testimonial.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards that zero-turn lawnmower you've always wanted. And after using its edge-shaping technology to meticulously sculpt the face of the Mona Lisa into your grass, you'll become the undisputed king of Saturday morning lawn care, leaving your neighbor and sworn enemy Gary to question his place in the delicate neighborhood ecosystem. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code MONTHFREE by May 31st. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Missions fans, get ready to swing in action tonight at Wolf Stadium. It's AARP $2 Tuesday, presented by 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. First pitch is 7:05. Go to samissions.com for tickets.
Testosterone levels in men can start to decrease as early as 30 years old, and long-term health risks can be extremely damaging to your body. Rock's Discount Vitamins carries a variety of natural testosterone boosters that can immediately provide you with more energy, increased libido, increased metabolism, and improve your mood. Rock's Discount Vitamins natural testosterone boosters can even help you build muscle and lose weight faster. With 11 San Antonio locations, visit rocksdiscountvitamins.com. Thanking God and South Texas for all the support.
Before you fire up that grill, make sure you get into Tri-County Meat Market. Hi, Jason Minix here. Tri-County Meat Market has everything you need. If you're thinking steaks, you want some chicken, some poppers, beef ribs, pork ribs, brisket, picanha, tri-tip. They've got it all at Tri-County Meat Market. Take advantage of their Pick 5 for $25, and Tri-County always offers a 10% discount for military and first responders. Tri-County Meat Market, 2 locations on Ralph Fair Road and on Heebner, or online at tricountymeat.com.
It's Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am taking you up to the start of the pregame for Mavericks and Timberwolves. Game 4, potential closeout for Kyrie Irving and the crew, as Kyrie Irving is 14-0 when he has a chance to close a team out in the postseason, the best record of such of all time, and the only one that is with that many games and still undefeated. But I was asked, Ronald Cash asked in our YouTube chat, or even Matt asked, he made the declaration, Mavs will take down the Celtics. I don't know where I fall on that. My initial thought is Celtics in 6 or 7, if that is the matchup. But I gotta see. I gotta see the Mavericks finish this out, get some rest, and I probably make a decision a lot closer to that actual series than in haste right now. But it's going to be very, very interesting to see tonight whether the Mavs can close it out in wake of the storms, in wake of everything that's going on in the DFW area that they have to deal with the potential of no Derek Lively due to the neck sprain that he suffered after getting kneed in the back of the head in the previous game. Those are going to be obstacles that they would have to overcome tonight, and it's a game you can catch coming up next year on San Antonio Sports Star.
Introducing for men, and we named him Mando. I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, the inventor of Mando Whole Body Deodorant for pits, packages, and feet, because we all know our pits aren't the only place we get odor. Mando Whole Body Deodorant is different from anything you've ever